Cortisol is one of the most misunderstood hormones on the internet. You hear people say, cortisol is making you gain belly fat. Cortisol is ruining your sleep. Cortisol is why you feel anxious. Lower your cortisol and everything will be fixed. But here's the problem. Cortisol is not just a bad stress hormone. In fact, without cortisol, you would not wake up properly, focus properly, exercise properly, or respond to normal daily challenges. Cortisol helps you get out of bed. It helps your brain become alert. It helps your body release energy when you need it. And yes, it rises when you are stressed. But that does not automatically mean it is harmful. The real question is not, how do I destroy cortisol? The better question is my cortisol rising at the right time, for the right reason, and coming back down when the job is done? In this video, we are going to explain cortisol in a simple, evidence-based way. What it is, why it goes up, why it goes down, what people get wrong about it, how small daily spikes affect normal people, and how to support a healthier cortisol rhythm without falling for fear-based health advice. Fresh science, no fluff. So, what is cortisol? Cortisol is a hormone made by your adrenal glands, which sit on top of your kidneys. But your adrenal glands do not work alone. They're part of a bigger communication system called the HPA axis. That stands for hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal. You do not need to memorize that. Just think of it like a message chain. Your brain senses what is happening. Then it sends a signal. Then your adrenal glands release cortisol. Cortisol then tells the body, prepare energy, stay alert, handle this challenge, keep blood sugar available, control inflammation, help maintain blood pressure. So cortisol is not only about stress, it is also about energy management. A simple way to think about it is this. Cortisol is your body's get-ready hormone. It helps you get ready for the day, get ready for pressure, get ready for movement, get ready for effort, and get ready for situations that require attention. This is why calling cortisol bad is too simple. Cortisol is not bad. Cortisol is powerful, and powerful things need good timing, like caffeine, like exercise, like sunlight, like stress itself. The dose, timing, and recovery matter. Cortisol follows a daily rhythm. For most people, cortisol is higher in the morning. Then it gradually falls during the day. And it should usually be lower at night when your body is preparing for sleep. This morning rise is not a mistake. It is one of cortisol's most important jobs. When you wake up, your body needs to switch from sleep mode to daytime mode. Your brain needs more alertness. Your blood pressure needs to adjust. Your body needs available fuel. Your attention needs to come online. That is why cortisol naturally rises after waking. This is sometimes called the cortisol awakening response. Think of it like your body's startup sequence. Your phone boots up. Your computer loads its system. Your body has a biological version of that. Cortisol is part of the morning power on signal. So when someone online says, cortisol is high in the morning, that is bad. That is not automatically true. Morning cortisol is usually normal, helpful, expected. The problem is not cortisol rising in the morning. The problem is when your rhythm gets messy. For example, you feel exhausted in the morning. You rely on caffeine just to feel human. You feel stressed all day. Then at night, instead of winding down, you feel wired. Your body is tired, but your brain is still switched on. That is when the pattern matters. Not one spike, not one stressful moment, but the rhythm across the whole day. Cortisol spikes are normal. They can happen because of psychological stress, like a deadline, an argument, a difficult meeting, a public speaking situation, or worrying about something important. But cortisol can also rise from physical stress, like exercise, poor sleep, low food intake, illness, heat, cold, or too much caffeine. Even excitement can raise stress hormone. Your body does not always know the difference between, I am running from danger, I am nervous before a presentation, I am doing a hard workout, I drank a large coffee on an empty stomach. It simply reads the situation as, we need more energy and alertness. So cortisol goes up, and that can be useful. If you are lifting weights, cortisol may rise. If you are doing intense cardio, cortisol may rise. If you are solving a hard problem, cortisol may rise. If you are under pressure, cortisol may rise. That does not mean your body is broken. It means your body is responding. A short cortisol spike is like pressing the accelerator. Sometimes you need the accelerator. The issue is, when you never take your foot off the pedal, a spike is not the same as being stuck. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. They treat every cortisol increase as damage. But the human body is built for waves, up and down, stress and recovery, effort and rest, challenge and adaptation. The goal is not a flat line. The goal is flexibility. Now, let's talk about what slightly higher cortisol may feel like in normal daily life. Not medical cortisol disorders. Not extreme cases. Just everyday ups and downs. When cortisol rises a little, you may feel more awake, more focused, more driven, more ready to act. That can be helpful in the morning, before a workout, or during a demanding task. But if the stress response is too strong or lasts too long, you might feel different. You might feel restless, a little anxious, irritable, hungry later, mentally busy, or physically tense. Some people describe it as, I can't relax, my brain won't turn off, I'm tired, but wired. This is where cortisol may be part of the picture. But notice the wording, part of the picture, not the whole picture. Because feeling wired can also come from caffeine, too much screen time at night, poor sleep, undereating, overtraining, work stress, relationship stress, financial stress, or just a chaotic schedule. Cortisol is not a magic explanation for everything. It is one signal in a much bigger system. So if someone says, you have belly fat because of cortisol, or you are tired because of cortisol, or you are anxious because of cortisol, be careful. Maybe cortisol is involved. But it is probably not the only factor. Health is rarely one hormone. Now, what about lower cortisol? Again, we are not talking about serious medical deficiency. That is a separate medical topic. We are talking about normal people feeling small ups and downs in energy and stress. If cortisol is lower when your body needs activation, you may feel flat, sluggish, low motivation, low drive, foggy in the morning, or slow to get going. You may feel like you need caffeine before you can think clearly. But this is important. Feeling tired does not automatically mean you have low cortisol. Fatigue can come from many things. Poor sleep, low calories, not enough protein, low iron, low vitamin D, stress, depression, too much training, not enough movement, dehydration, medications, or simply not giving your body enough recovery. So we should not turn every feeling into a hormone diagnosis. That is one problem with online health content. It gives people a simple villain, but bodies are not that simple. If you wake up tired, the first question is not, is my cortisol broken? The better first questions are, did I sleep enough? Was my sleep consistent? Did I have caffeine too late? Am I eating enough? Am I moving my body? Am I under more stress than usual? Am I giving myself time to recover? Cortisol matters, but your habits shape the rhythm. Let's clear up the biggest cortisol myths. Myth number 1, cortisol is bad. Verdict, false. Cortisol is essential. It helps you wake up, think, move, adapt, and respond to stress. A body with no cortisol response would not be healthier. It would be in trouble. Myth number 2, you should lower cortisol as much as possible. Verdict, wrong goal. The goal is not the lowest cortisol. The goal is the right cortisol rhythm. Higher when you need energy, lower when you need recovery. Myth number 3, exercise raises cortisol, so exercise is bad for hormones. Verdict, too simple. Hard exercise can raise cortisol temporarily, but exercise is also one of the best tools we have for long-term health. The magic is not avoiding stress. The magic is controlled stress plus recovery. Train, eat, sleep, adapt. That is the cycle. Myth number 4, cortisol causes belly fat by itself. Verdict, oversimplified. Stress can affect appetite, cravings, sleep, food choices, and body weight. But body fat is not controlled by one hormone alone. Calories, protein, activity, sleep, genetics, environment, and habits all matter. Cortisol may influence the system. It does not single-handedly control it. Myth number 5, one cortisol test tells me exactly how stressed I am. Verdict, be careful. Cortisol changes throughout the day. It changes based on sleep, food, exercise, caffeine, stress, timing, and even the method of testing. A single reading is only a snapshot. It is not your whole life story. This is why MitoMint's rule is, do not fear cortisol. Understand the pattern. So how do normal people manage cortisol better? Not by trying to crush it, not by buying every adrenal support supplement, and not by panicking every time stress happens. The goal is to support a better daily rhythm. Here are the biggest evidence-based habits. Number 1, get morning light. Outdoor light after waking helps anchor your body clock. And your body clock is connected to cortisol timing, sleep timing, and alertness. You do not need to stare at the sun. Just get outside. Walk. Sit near natural light. Let your brain receive the message. It is daytime now. Number 2, keep a consistent sleep schedule. This one sounds boring, but boring habits often work. Going to bed and waking up around the same time helps your body predict when to be alert and when to wind down. If your schedule changes wildly every day, your rhythm may feel more chaotic. Number 3, use exercise as controlled stress. Exercise can raise cortisol temporarily. That is not automatically bad. A workout is a challenge. Your body responds. Then recovery is where adaptation happens. But if you combine hard training with poor sleep, low calories, too much caffeine, and work stress, your system may feel overloaded. So do not just train hard, recover hard. Number 4, watch caffeine timing. Caffeine is not evil. Coffee is not automatically bad, but caffeine can increase alertness and stress signaling. For some people, too much caffeine, especially late in the day, can make them feel anxious or wired at night. A simple rule: if your sleep is poor, check your caffeine first. Try reducing the dose. Avoid caffeine later in the day, and do not use caffeine to cover up bad sleep forever. Number 5, build a wind-down routine. Your body needs signals that the day is ending. Dim the lights, lower the noise, put the phone away earlier. Stretch, read, pray, journal, take a warm shower, do slow breathing. It does not need to be fancy. The goal is to teach your nervous system, we are safe. The work is done. It is time to downshift. Number 6, eat enough, especially if you train. Very low calories, skipped meals, and intense training can all be stressors. That does not mean fasting is always bad. It means context matters. If you are already stressed, sleeping poorly, and training hard, underfueling can make you feel worse. Your body needs resources to recover. Number 7, do not make supplements the first solution. Some supplements may affect stress or relaxation for some people. But for MitoMint, the hierarchy is simple. Sleep first, light first, movement first, caffeine timing first, food first, relaxation first, supplements later if needed, because you cannot out-supplement a chaotic rhythm. Here is a simple way to think about your day. Morning, you want light, movement, hydration, maybe caffeine, but not as a replacement for sleep. During the day, you want focused effort, breaks, food that supports your energy, and some physical activity, even a walk counts. Evening, you want less stimulation, lower light, less caffeine, less doom scrolling, and a clear signal that the body can relax. This does not mean you need a perfect routine. Nobody has a perfect routine. The goal is not perfection. The goal is direction. A slightly better morning, a slightly calmer evening, a slightly more consistent sleep schedule, a slightly smarter approach to caffeine, a little more recovery after hard training. Small changes repeated daily can shape the rhythm better than extreme protocols followed for 3 days and then abandoned. Cortisol management is not about becoming stress-free. That is impossible. It is about becoming better at moving between stress and recovery, because a healthy body is not a body that never gets stressed. A healthy body is a body that can respond, adapt, and return to baseline. So, what is the MitoMint verdict on cortisol? Cortisol is not your enemy. It is not just a stress villain, and it is not something you should try to lower as much as possible. Cortisol helps you wake up, focus, move, train, respond, and adapt. Small spikes are normal. Morning cortisol is normal. Exercise cortisol is normal. Stress cortisol is normal. The real problem is when stress keeps stacking, sleep gets worse, recovery disappears, caffeine goes up, and your body never gets a clear signal to calm down. So instead of asking, how do I lower cortisol? Ask, how do I build a better rhythm? Can I get light in the morning? Can I sleep more consistently? Can I train, but also recover? Can I use caffeine wisely? Can I give my body a real wind-down signal at night? Can I stop blaming one hormone for every problem? That is the real science. Cortisol is not good or bad. It is a signal, and your job is not to fear the signal. Your job is to understand it. Fresh science. No fluff. If you found this helpful, subscribe to MitoMint for clear, evidence-based health science without the hype.